10 years. That's how long we waited. My husband and I got married in 2015, and it wasn't until our 10th year anniversary months ago that I discovered I'm pregnant with our first child. I'm in the middle of my second trimester at the time of filming this video. And the reason why we weren't able to get pregnant is that I had a metastatic thyroid cancer that started when I was 18 and it lasted until I was 31 years old. It's slow growing. It's not fatal, although it can be if you don't take action, of course. And I wanted to clarify that so it doesn't sound too dramatic because it's not. My cancer is nothing more than just an inconvenience in my life. But because of the procedures I had to go through, surgery and treatments, and especially radiation being one of them, I was told to wait before having children. Year after year, my test results showed progression of my cancer biomarkers. And so the waiting became longer and longer. In my 20s, as I learned to understand more about my cancer, I kind of knew that this was going to happen. And especially when we knew that my cancer had started to spread to my lungs. I made my husband aware of this before we got married. He chose to marry me anyway. After I turned 30 in 2022, I decided to make big changes into my daily habits and lifestyle. So that, and combined with conventional medicine, the changes have become much more effective. My cancer went into remission in 2023. And now we're pregnant. Over 10 years of waiting for this moment, I have gained invaluable insights. And it didn't just transform my circumstances, but also who I am as a person. So today I want to share 5 of the most important lessons with you. The first lesson is to learn to genuinely be happy for others. I struggled with jealousy for a long time, especially watching others achieve what I desperately wanted. I've had negative thoughts, such as, why is it so easy for others to get pregnant while it's so hard for someone like me? Why me? There was even a time where I would avoid all invitations to attend baby showers. One particular example was when my sister got pregnant about 6 or 7 years ago. And she is 3 years younger than me. And the social environment I was in just made everything worse. In my home country, the Philippines, it is common for people to ask intrusive questions. And unfortunately, it's just a way for people to say hi, hello, how are you? I get questions like, why don't you have a baby yet? Or how come your little sister already has a baby and you don't? As if it's a contest. It took me a while to break free from this jealousy. But what truly helped me was choosing gratitude over bitterness. And it's cliche, I know, but hear me out. Looking back, I realized that my husband never made me feel inadequate. Like I was less of a person, less of a woman, or less of a wife because I couldn't give him children yet. It wasn't safe yet. And much of the pain I felt, I realized, was pretty much self-inflicted because I was dwelling on my negative thoughts. So I decided to be grateful for what I had. I have been keeping a journal since I was 12. And what helped me was reading through my past entries and realize I'm grateful. There's a lot of good things. I'm grateful for my life, my profession, my education, the relationships I cherish, families and friends, and all the opportunities that were open to me, and especially my marriage. Something that stuck with me is this. Being grateful for what you have doesn't mean settling for less than what you want. Appreciation amplifies rather than diminishes ambition. Gratitude fuels hope rather than killing it. Contentment creates capacity for more. When I started to find joy from within, it became possible to be genuinely happy for others too. Lesson number 2 is to learn from those who have what you want instead of resenting them. So going back to the example with my sister, I made an active choice to make her my role model instead of my rival. Instead of avoiding her or harboring resentment, I decided to learn from her and from her experience. This is particularly humbling for me, being the big sister. I was used to having her rely on me instead of having me learn from her. But at this time, I decided to ask her many questions about her pregnancy journey and helped her whenever I could. What I discovered was that she had her own struggles too. And it's something that I hadn't seen when I was so consumed with my pain. After her daughter was born, I kept asking about how motherhood was treating her and how she was taking care of her baby and what she is learning along the way. This simple shift transformed my jealous energy into motivated action and improved our relationship in a meaningful way. We even became closer as sisters and as best friends. Whenever someone posted on social media about having a baby or shared a picture of their baby's ultrasound, I found myself celebrating with them and being inspired by them. And this helped me prepare for when my turn would come, whenever that might be. The third lesson I learned is to turn your disadvantage into an advantage. When my doctor once advised me to wait again after we received disappointing blood work results during a routine cancer checkup, he probably saw the devastation in my face. And he said something that changed my perspective. He said, "Don't let this stop you from living your life." He was absolutely right. I moved forward while giving it my best effort to improve and heal. My goal became to be healthy enough to bear my own child. I wasn't even expecting for my cancer to disappear completely. I just wanted to be healthy enough, just enough, so I don't have to do anything radioactive again and to be able to get pregnant safely. During that time, I discovered how to wait with purpose and turning my waiting time into growth time, rather than letting those 10 years feel like lost time. And I was able to learn how to use those years strategically to learn new skills and expand my knowledge. I went to graduate school and earned my doctorate in physical therapy. My husband and I moved to a new country, immersing ourselves in a different culture. I expanded my professional expertise, learning nutrition and lifestyle medicine and becoming board certified in it. I even started a YouTube channel, which is my husband's idea, that I initially resisted. Most importantly, I focused on improving my health. And after trying different approaches, I found success in plant-based nutrition, whole grains, fruits, veggies, legumes, nuts, and seeds. That is the foundation of my diet. And instead of hiring a coach, I decided to get certified myself. so I get to keep a set of skills for life. Months after changing my diet, I realized nutrition alone is not enough. So I expanded to lifestyle medicine, which emphasizes healthy daily habits as the first line of intervention for chronic diseases. The 6 pillars are a plant-predominant diet, regular exercise, quality sleep, avoiding harmful substances, meaningful connections, and stress management. As I practiced what I learned, I was able to put my cancer into remission with the help of my doctors and my own dedicated efforts. I was working full-time, doing my certifications, juggling church assignments, and family responsibilities on top of all that too. But believe me when I say this, I didn't do everything perfectly, but I was consistent and flexible at the same time. If you're a busy professional like me, that is a much needed skill to learn. And during those waiting years, I also treasured the time alone I had with my husband, which made our relationship even stronger. We traveled to places I imagined would be difficult to visit with children. Crucially, I knew that even if I didn't achieve my ultimate goal, I could confidently say that I had done everything within my power and control. And this helped free me from guilt and self-blame. And I no longer see myself as a failure. Because whether it happened or not, I knew I was giving it my absolute best. Now, on the topic of lifestyle medicine, if you're someone who keeps starting health habits but can't seem to stick with them, I have something completely free that might help you. I created a 7-day challenge called the Health Habit Reset. Each day, you focus on one pillar of lifestyle medicine with 3 flexible options based on your schedule. If you have a crazy Tuesday, then pick a 5-minute option. If you've got more time in the weekends, then choose a comprehensive approach. It's evidence-based, and it focuses on the fundamentals, not quick fixes. I find this really realistic for busy people like myself. So I made this just to help people like me. And link is in the description, completely free, no hidden costs. Plus, you'll automatically be included in my newsletter for weekly evidence-based strategies that fit into your real life. The 4th lesson that I learned is who you become in the process of achieving a goal is more important than the goal itself. I once read a post by Alex Hormozy. He said, "Who you become in the process of accomplishing a goal is the real prize. The goal just gives you a reason to become that person." Looking back on those 10 years of waiting, I have changed dramatically. In pursuing my goals, I became someone who's able to transform waiting into preparation and disappointment into wisdom. In a conversation with a close friend of mine, she said that you didn't just teach and practice lifestyle medicine, you became lifestyle medicine. I also became someone who loves to learn, apply what she learns, and shares it to others. I developed the ability to forgive myself for mistakes and create boundaries to protect my inner peace. I became a better wife and grew more sincere in my prayers and drawing closer to God. If my 18-year-old self could see me now, that 18-year-old me who was so scared when she learned about her cancer, that she thought that her life has ended because she has cancer. If she could see me now, she would be proud and comforted, knowing that despite the challenges ahead, everything would be okay. Lesson number 5, acknowledge your fears, but don't let them control your life. I overthink a lot. I tend to worry about far-fetched scenarios that haven't even happened yet. And now that I'm pregnant, I catch myself ruminating over possible complications, even though everything is okay right now. But at the same time, I'm also realistic about the consequences of my medical history. Even though my cancer is now in remission, there are things that I cannot change. My thyroid gland is not going to grow back. I have to be dependent on thyroid hormone replacement pills. But over the past decade, I've learned a powerful technique, naming my fears. I once heard this in a podcast. When you make your fear known, you rob it of its power over you. Articulate them, write them down, and try to understand why you're so scared of them. Since it's often difficult to logic myself out of an emotional response, putting a name to my negative feelings helps me examine it more objectively. Usually this helps me realize that, well, it's not actually true. For example, while I worry about things that could go wrong in my pregnancy, which is a fear that I think a lot of pregnant women share, I can step back and ask myself, why am I mulling over a problem that isn't even happening? Another fear that I have is sharing this story before it's finished. I worry about what people might say if things go wrong. However, when I name this fear directly, I realize that's not valid. Some people will still find value in this story, so I'm sharing it anyway. And also, I want to be honest about where I am right now at this moment, and where I am at this journey, rather than waiting for when I get to the finish line and then tell all about it. I have many more fears, of course, that I won't share publicly here, but the practice of naming them consistently really helped me maintain my perspective and move forward despite uncertainty. 10 years ago, I couldn't have imagined the person I would become through this journey. While the waiting was painful, it taught me that our greatest growth often happens not when we get what we want, but in how we choose to respond while we're waiting for it. And if you're in your own season of waiting, whether for a baby, a career breakthrough, healing, or any other deeply desired goal, know that this time doesn't have to be wasted time. It can be preparation time, growth time, or transformation time. The person you become in the process may be even more valuable than the goal itself. Your waiting has a purpose, even when you can't see it yet. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments or email me. And don't forget the free Health Habit Reset 7-day challenge. The link is at the description below. Thanks.